Hi children, good morning. Have you gone to different markets? I know that your answer will be yes. And when you go to markets, what are the sights and smells that you see and feel? Definitely it will be calling out of the merchants. They will be calling you, telling the names of fruits and other food items, isn't it? And today we are going to discuss about the new poem In the Bazaars of Hyderabad, written by Sarojini Naidu.
You have heard of Sarojini Naidu. She is also been called as the Nightingale of India, and she has written a number of poems to inspire the people of India. And she had participated in the freedom struggle along with Gandhiji, and especially the movement that is associated with Sarojini Naidu and Mahatma Gandhi together is Swadeshi movement, in which they advocated that Indians will be using the handmade goods made by Indians and boycotting the machine made goods that is imported from British or Britain. And that is a particular movement, and here in the poem Sarojini Naidu glorifies the Indian culture. India had a rich heritage and Indian markets were rich, and all these aspects are being glorified in this particular poem in the Bazaars of Hyderabad. This is one of the pictures in which Sarojini Naidu takes part along with Mahatma Gandhi for Swadeshi movement. In this particular poem, in the Bazaars of Hyderabad, the Hyderabad market represents all other cities in India where the rich goods of India are being displayed, and our five senses are being satisfied with it because you can see, smell, and hear the different things. Now let's all listen to the poem carefully. In the bazaars of Hyderabad, what do you sell, O ye merchants? Richly your wares are displayed. Turbans of crimson and silver, tunics of purple brocade, mirror with panels of amber, daggers with handles of jade. What do you weigh, O ye vendors? Saffron and lentil and rice. What do you grind, O ye maidens? Sandalwood, henna and spice. What do you call, O ye peddlers? Chessmen and ivory and dice. What do you make, O ye goldsmiths? Wristlet and anklet and ring, bells for the feet of the blue pigeons, frail as a dragonfly's wing, girdles of gold for the dancers, scabbards of gold for the king. What do you cry, O ye fruitmen? Citron, pomegranate, and plum. What do you play, O musicians? Sitar, sarangi, and drum. What do you chant, O ye magicians? Spells for the aeons to come. What do you weave, O ye flower girls? With tassels of azure and red, crowns for the brow of a bridegroom, chaplets to garland his bed, sheets of white blossoms new garnered to perfume the sleep of the dead.
I hope that you understood the poem. When you listened to the poem, almost you understood the meaning. And this particular poem is written in the form of a question and answer. The speaker or the poet goes to the market and see the merchants, vendors, and all other sellers
and asked the questions to them. And they replied, and this is in the form of a question and answer. This is a conversation of the speaker and the sellers in the market. Now let's try to know the details of the poem. Let's discuss line by line. The poet is asking to the merchants, what are you selling, in the beginning of the poem. And here the poet feels that the merchants are selling the rich goods which are being displayed. Wares means goods which are to be sold in the market. The merchants here answers, they sell turbans of crimson and silver. Turban, you already know, that's used as hat, especially by Punjabis and all. The color of the turbans is of red and silver, and both the colors of turbans they sell. They answered. They continue. Tunics of purple brocade. Tunics means jacket or loose garment. They also sell purple color brocade. Brocade, that is the raised pattern that is on the clothes. They also sell mirrors with panels of amber. You can see the mirror what is being used in the previous ages, and this is the structure of the mirror, and its panels. Panels means handles, and this is made up of amber. Amber, that is yellowish color. They tell that they also sell daggers which are used by especially by the kings, and its handles are made up of jade. Jade, that is a hard dark green ornamental stone. That means it is very precious stone, and its value is very high. So, which are the wares that are being expected in the by the merchants in the shop? Turbans, tunics, mirrors, and daggers. All these are richly displayed in the market. Now the poet has reached in the spot of the vendors, and she is asking, what are you weighing there? Weighing, you know that if you go to the shop, they will weigh how much it is, how much the thing is. And she is asking, what are you weighing there? They replied, saffron and lentil and rice. Saffron, that is an expensive spice that you can see in the picture. Also lentil. Lentil, that is high protein pulse. Also they sell rice. The poet sees, then the maidens are grinding something in the market. Then she asks them, what are you grinding there? They reply that they grind sandalwood, henna and spice. All these three are used for dyeing. It is not D-I-E, it is D-Y-E. That is to give colors, especially to clothes, or you have seen on the hair, some people will dye. So for that purpose only they grind. Then she sees the peddlers are calling out, and these peddlers are the people who goes from one place to another for selling the goods, and they are calling out for something. What is that? She asked them. So in this stanza, the vendors are selling saffron, lentil and rice. Maidens are grinding sandalwood, henna and spice, and the peddlers are calling out for chessmen and ivory dyes that they are selling. I hope that this stanza is clear. We are moving to the next stanza. The poet has reached to the spot of the goldsmith, and she is asking the question to them, what are you making? What do you make here? And goldsmith, you know the meaning, one who make gold and silver ornament. They replied, they make wristlet, anklet and ring. All these are familiar to you. Wristlet, which is being used on your wrist, and anklet on your ankle, and ring, that is on your finger. They also make bells for the feet of the blue pigeons, and these bells will be tied on the feet of the blue pigeons, and this is very frail. Frail means weak, very soft, as a dragonfly's wing. The poet directly compares the bells with the dragonfly's wing. So there is a direct comparison. When an object is compared directly by using the word as or like, that is called simile. So the figure of speech, simile is used there. I think that last year you studied, you remember it. And here the bells, the very soft bells are compared to the dragonfly's wing. They make girdles of gold for the dancers. Girdles, the bells that will be, the color will be gold. So they also make girdles for the dancers, and also scabbards of gold for the kings. Scabbards, cover for the swords, and that is for the kings. And which are the items that are made by the goldsmiths? Wristlet, anklet, and ring, bells for the feet of the blue pigeons, girdles, scabbards. Remember it. The poet continues her walk, and she reached the fruitmen. And these fruitmen are calling out the names of the fruits which are being displayed. Which are the fruits exhibited there? Citron, pomegranate, and plum. Citron means citrus fruit. The picture is given there. Pomegranate, and plum. These are the fruits they sell, and they call out these names. She reaches to the musicians and asks, "What do you play? Which are the musical instruments that you play here?" They reply that they play sitar, sarangi, and drum. All these musical instruments pictures are given here, and these are the musical instruments that is used by these musicians. She then finds some magicians are chanting, and she asks them, "What do you chant? What is the meaning of chanting?" That is telling mantras. And what are the mantras that they tell? They told that these are the mantras for the ages to come. That means that is about the future. And these magicians are talking about the future that is to come. Then she reaches to the flower girls and finds that they are weaving something. And she asks the question, "What are you weaving, flower girls?" Then they reply that they weave with tassels of azure and red. Tassels, that's a thread that is used to weave. And this tassels color is azure and red. Azure, that is bright blue, and red color. What are the things that they make out of these tassels of azure and red? With this thread, they make crowns for the brow of a bridegroom. You can see the crown that will be used by a bridegroom. They make crowns for the brow of a bridegroom. And you know that the bridegroom's bed will be decorated with flowers after their wedding. And these flower girls are making chaplets. What is the meaning of chaplets? Chaplets, garlands of flower. And these garlands of flowers are made in order to decorate the bed of the bridegroom when they reach after their marriage. They tell that they also make sheets of white blossoms that is to be decorated on the dead body. And you know that the dead body will be decorated with sheets of flowers, and they make these sheets. You see, at the end of the poem, the poet is using two contrasting events, that is death and marriage. Wedding is a happy occasion, whereas death is a very sad moment. So two contrasting events are depicted here. So the aspects of life is being depicted here, and all through the poem the poet is trying to convey that India is rich with culture, heritage, and also tradition, and we have a lot of rich heritage, rich tradition, rich wares in our markets. And I think that you must have understood the poem. Read it many times so that it will help you to understand more. One of the important characteristic of the poem is the poet's use of imagery all through the poem. Imagery is the use of language to evoke pictures in the minds of readers. When you read about this particular Hyderabad market, many pictures are already got into your mind, that is of all the vendors, all the sellers, musicians, and also magicians, and all these pictures come to your mind. That is a use of imagery that will evoke a picture in the minds of the readers. She has used different types of imagery like auditory imagery. Auditory, that is related to sound. For example, the calling out of the sellers, telling the names of the fruits and other items. That is auditory imagery that you get when you read the poem. Also, you will get the imagery of smell, that is olfactory imagery, and these flowers and other these fruit items, you will get the smell of it, that is of olfactory imagery. The poem is filled with visual imagery. Visual means that which appeals to our eyes. All these things, for example, many of the wares that is being displayed in the market, all these give us as an appeal to our eyes, that is visual imagery. Also, there is the imagery of taste and touch. Taste, you know that by tasting the fruits, and touching, you know that musical instruments you can touch it, and these things are also explained here in the poem.